Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Bar Movie Crew edition. Neil, you know who I am, and you know who he is. He's Mark, my brother.
What it is, people.
Y'all liking the content, y'all enjoying what we're doing, especially when they're around apparently. So consider subscribing, hitting the notification bell so you don't miss anything that we put out there. You can give us any suggestions you want in terms of content you want us to review. We're really focusing on movies more so than TV series right now, but we will consider TV series in the future once we kind of get our footing in this whole YouTube space. Like, comment, share, subscribe, as I just mentioned, and let me build the community. Mark, how many subscribers we got now? 44, I think you told me?
Yeah, we at 44, so we're slowly building. We on that road to 50. I know we could do it. Just like my brother Neil said, hit the subscribe button. Give you a like if you like what we saying. Give you a dislike if you think we talking shit. I mean, all engagement matters, right, Neil?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a
All right.
fact. No,
All right.
Mark Moore.
Yes, my brother.
We are reviewing a movie today. What is the movie we're reviewing today? Begrudgingly.
We are reviewing Army of Thieves
Army of
by
Thieves.
Zack Snyder.
Well, it's not really by Zack Snyder, but we can get into it. It's his story. He got enough blame to go around, but we can get there. We're doing Army of Thieves. No.
Yep.
Usually we give a little setup, a little preamble about the movies that we're reviewing. So Army of Thieves is a heist comedy. It was released October 29th on Netflix. Distributed by Netflix. It was produced in part by the Stone Quarry, which is Zack Snyder's company, his wife, etc. Shay Haddon is a screenwriter. He worked on movies like John Wick 3 Parabellum, John Wick 4 and 5, which are to come in the next couple of years. He also worked on...
Wait, there's a fifth?
Yeah. John Wick printing money, boss.
Okay.
John Wick no got...
That's true.
Shh.
I know we'll be there. We'll be there for it.
Yeah.
We'll be there for it.
And John Wick kind of dead, so...
Evidently.
Right. So he also worked on Army of the Dead. Obviously worked on this Army of Thieves. So this movie is a prequel to Army of the Dead, which is a spiritual sequel to Dawn of the Dead from 2004. And it is also part of the Army of the Dead franchise, which is being rebooted or whatever they're doing nowadays. Very convoluted. They have a television show in works coming out next year. They're obviously planning another installment, but fact remains there's an Army of the Dead universe, right? Zack Snyder, he did the story for it, which is the original story, Dawn of the Dead, in 2004. Hans Zimmer did some of the music for this, which I am going to get to. So this movie stars Matthias Schweighöfer. If I butchered that, I'm sorry, but Matthias, he's also the director in this movie. He plays the lead, which is Sebastian. I'm not going to pronounce his last name, but essentially he's Ludwig Dieter from Army of the Dead. Also stars Nathalie Emmanuel, Ruby Ophie, Jonathan Cohen. I don't really know those actors, but what I gather.
You would know Natalie from.
Oh, I know
the
Nathalie.
last couple of movies. Everybody knows Natalie from Fast and Furious, and I think she was in. I think she was in Game of Thrones too.
She was in Game of Thrones. I know her from Game of Thrones because she was naked in Game of Thrones.
Oh, she is.
Frontal nudity. But anyhow.
Know what? Watch Game of Thrones. Right. Yeah.
Right. Right. So this movie, I gave it a watch. I have not watched Army of the Dead. We can get into it.
I mean, it's neither here nor there, to be quite honest.
Right. Before we get into it, just letting everybody know, spoiler alert. You know how we keep it? We are going to go into some conversation between this and Army of the Dead. So if you've not watched Army of Thieves, if you have not watched Army of the Dead, take a pause, get your life in order, go and watch whatever you go watch, and then come back, and we will continue the video from there. Put us in the favorites, give us a like when you're doing that, and a subscription. And yeah. So, my brother.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to let you go first.
You sure you don't want the honors today? I think you got some angst about this movie, so you sure you don't want to go first?
No. What I can do is I can set it up. So this movie, as I said, is a prequel to Army of the Dead. It follows Sebastian's character, who turns out to be Ludwig Dieter in Army of the Dead. He is a master safecracker, and
in his head,
but he turns out to be he turns out to be a very skilled one. And he's recruited by Natalie's character, which is Gwendolyn. She and her merry army of thieves they recruit Dieter or Ludwig. I can just
Sebastian.
Sebastian, whatever his name is. They recruit him into cracking safes. There's a series of famous safes that were made by a guy called Wagner, and they're like the most crack-proof safes in the world. And they encounter him, they recruit him, and they go on a set of three. I think it was three heists to
Yeah,
crack a setup for
three. Yeah,
safes.
three out of the four that the location is known.
Right. So they go all
Right.
across Europe, enjoy themselves. It's supposed to be a comedy, but we can get into that. Mark, I need you to go first because if you don't go first, I'm gonna take out this entire episode.
But that's what the people like, sir. You know, you just gotta give the people what they want.
Man, no, it's
But
me. It's me. You doing this thing, man.
Since you opened the floor to me, I'll go 1st.
Mm-hmm.
This was not a good movie. This was not a good movie. It was not. I don't want to say it was a bad movie because it wasn't like out and out bad. I mean, it was a pain to get through. Like 2 hours and 5 minutes or 2 hours and 9 minutes. It was a pain to get through, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't like horrible. I just think what they were aiming for didn't happen. It was like a heist movie that they weren't really showing much of the heist, and the comedy was remedial at best. Like there's a part where he is talking to Gwendolyn and he wants to know if he's being spunked. I mean, that's a bit childish humor. It's supposed to be punked, but I was looking at it like, we really doing this in 2021? This is what we really doing? I was like, all right, come on, there we go. And I kept waiting for and maybe it was my fault because I kept saying, "Or it's a heist movie. You're looking at safes." My mind automatically went to like the Ocean series, the Ocean movies, those sort of stuff. The Italian Job. You know where there's a heist, but there's some comedy, there's some action, there's some levity to it. But I just watching this movie and I'm like, this is boring as shit. Like there were some cool parts, there were some good parts, like when he's cracking the safe and I call it like he was talking to the safe. Like they're giving you the internal view of the safe. Like that was cool for like the first time and the first time only. After that, like they just used that gimmick all the time to like, I guess, prop up how good he was. And yes, he turned out to be a very good safe cracker, but I think they relied on that gimmick a little too much. It was like, it's like every other scene in the first Matrix was bullet time. After a while, it started to get repetitive and started to be like monotonous. I'm like, all right, give me a new trick. Like, show me something different. And like just how they recruit him was a little weird. Like she watched the man on YouTube and then tell him, yeah, turn up, turn it to this house here. Like I gave a secret word and this can happen. So like there's a competitive underground safe cracking. Like that's a thing. You may just turn up for like this. We can have the world, the underground safe cracking championships.
World championships.
Like,
I was like,
the world championships.
I was like, all right. You're telling me, and not only is it not only is it an underground world championship of safe cracking, but they got people there, people betting. And like, who comes to bet on safe cracking? You're that rich and bored that you could just come to underground safe cracking.
Like they got an announcer,
and he man got
all sorts.
And he man got like security. Like if
the cracking, like if they take away something, like there's something to win. Like the market, the price was a crowbar.
I see a crowbar.
But there were some good parts, like the first heist.
You mean like the end when the credits start roll?
Like I like the first heist because they kind of went outside of the cliche heist thing where they even poke fun at themselves at the first heist where they were saying, "Oh, it'll go comically well," and we can explain in most heist movies, just explain what happened and then something is go comedically wrong and you go a rush. And they went back like, so how do we know it's not gonna happen? And then it was like, oh, because we already did it. So like while they're explaining it, it actually happened, and that's a little different to how they normally do like heist movies. We know that's the whole point of it. There's something to go wrong that causes a little contention, a little cooking in the pulse, but they subverted that expectation. But after that, it was just honestly a very run of the mill movie, and it was like, what's the point? And like I said, for what's supposed to be a heist comedy movie, they really didn't heist much because they
they,
crack
they comedy much needed.
right. But the way saying is they crack the fall, but they take much money. They walking out with like two duffel bags, what $500. Like they're not even taking that much money. And then there was a part where the man said, "Oh, we're rich already. We don't really need to do the third heist." And like, how are y'all rich? But again, given their background, because they do go into the background of two of the characters, they come from a wealthy family and all sorts of junk. But again, there's no heist, there's no comedy. You just did it to expand the world. And as much as I loved his character in Army of the Dead, because he had just enough screen time to make his character likable, to make his idiosyncrasies and his eccentricness and his offbeat stuff just enough to tolerate. 2 hours and 9 or 5, 2 hours
It's
and 5 minutes
towards
or
the
2
9
hours and
minutes.
9 minutes.
Two or 9 minutes.
Two
You
hours
could be
and nine
forgiven
minutes.
for making, you could be forgiven for making a mistake in there because it's 2 hours too long, in my opinion. But
So 2 hours and 9 minutes of him being the central character. I mean, no, it no, it just didn't work. It really didn't work for me. And I was like watching it. I said, this can get Neil to rant. Like, get Neil to rant with this one. Hey, really fine with this one.
so that has what become
But
people. I've become a thing. I like the Hulk in Avengers, right? Where you know what to do with me, so it's just put me and I just come out and do my trick and go back inside. That's what I become.
So, like I said, like I I can't say it's an out bad movie, but and it definitely ain't a good movie. So like I somewhere like in the mediocre to unnecessary to not that bad.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's like my take on it, sir. So
Mm.
I turn the floor over to you now, sir.
All right. All right. So, Army of Thieves. Now, obviously, some of y'all know us, some of y'all don't know us, but Martin and I have been friends since we were 3 years old, right? So this is literally going on 40 years that we've been very close, best friends. We call each other brothers, right? Martin is my closest friend on this planet. And it is interesting because in those 40 years of friendship, Martin's always been the angry one. Martin's always been the one to give disparaging remarks, quick to anger, quick to dismiss. And it is funny in this movie, Mark he is middling on what I consider a bad movie. This is fascinating. It shows, I don't know what it shows, if it's growth on
Growth, sir.
growth, if it
Growth,
shows
sir. Growth
right,
on my part, sir.
right,
Growth on my part.
if it shows growth on Mark's part, or if I have degenerated into some kind of hateful media snob that just dislikes movies that don't try. This movie did not try, right? Okay, let's talk about the good. That's what we do here. Now I've not watched Army of the Dead, and I was going into this movie because at first I didn't realize that this was related to that universe. I saw Army of Thieves. I thought that was kind of strange. It shared a similar title to Army of the Dead that just came out on Netflix, but I didn't think nothing of it. I went to it, and very quickly into the movie, you start to realize that it does have to do with Army of the Dead. They make reference to
Zombie apocalypse.
yeah, they made reference to zombie apocalypse happening over there in the United States. It is set primarily in Europe, so Germany, Paris, those kinds of places. And I was like, oh shoot, maybe I should have watched Army of the Dead. So I paused the movie around that mark was like probably 5 minutes, and I do a quick Google search, Wikipedia page, and I saw that one, it was a prequel to Army of the Dead, and two, the guy that was in Army of the Dead, the protagonist of this movie, Sebastian, he is in Army of the Dead, which makes sense because I know the story of Army of the Dead. And I also realized he directed this movie. So then I was like, okay, that's strange because I know this is Zack Snyder's baby. I know that,
Mm-hmm.
the mainstream thing. So I found it strange. I never heard of Matthias or anything. Not knocking Matthias. I don't know. He could be big in Germany. He could have other movies. I did some research. and I realized that okay, you know what? I don't want not the man. Like give him his due. I unpause the movie and I continue. 5 minutes later, I'm now 10 minutes into the movie, and I wanted to call Mark and say, "What the hell are you reviewing this movie, Mark? I don't see the point in it." 10 minutes into the movie, you see that's what you say this movie is 2 hours and 9 minutes. 10 minutes into the movie, I realized what this movie was. I said, Neil, you know what? Don't be so harsh. You don't want to be a snob. You don't want to be one of those kinds of people that, you turn up your nose at movies, call you feel a filmmaker, and you like movies that you can be. It's all right, Neil. Get over yourself. Watch the movie, right? Another 10 minutes into the movie, now I'm 20 minutes in this movie, and they say, what was this movie? What is this movie? It has comedic elements. It has flashy, stylistic visuals a la Suicide Squad or whatever. It reminded me a lot of Now You See Me. Remember that series?
Mm.
Now You See Me, that
Yeah,
magical
yeah,
thing, ragtag team
yeah,
with
yeah,
people
yeah,
doing. Right.
yeah.
It reminded me of that, but it was like a stylized, poor version of it, if that makes sense. Because I couldn't understand how you got certain
$3 store virgin.
but the production value in this movie was a $3. You got Hans Zimmer on the score. You got the visuals, which were not terrible.
You weren't.
I didn't like the Suicide Squad style introduction of the characters and the haphazard way. The storytelling was a bit off for me, but production wise, this was a solid movie, right? The locales,
Well,
the
to be fair, if I remember correctly, Army of the Dead was kind of the same, had the same
no, no, I get it.
visuals and introductions.
I
So
so no, is Zack Snyder no?
it's true.
I did not like. I was not. It didn't throw me off, but I was like, I thought this movie was going for self awareness. Like, as you mentioned, there was that scene where they talked about the heist and how it's
Mm,
going to go comically well and this and that and the next.
yeah.
And, it had already happened or whatever, which was a terrible scene, by the way. You said it was great. I didn't like it. But I can get there.
No, 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 sir. I said the subversions of expectation was well done. I didn't say the scene was done. I said that was well done
Even
because
the subversion was terrible, Mark. Again,
come on, my bad, sir. I interrupt you.
no, no, no.
You have the floor.
I can
You
get
have
there.
the floor.
I can get
Go
there.
ahead.
I can get there. All right, I dipsy doodling. So this movie, right? It's terrible. That scene that Mark talking about the subversion of typical tropes in heist movies, right? Was terribly done. Why? This is why I say it was terribly done. Because they're explaining, which I had a big problem with. They're explaining for the essentially the sake of the audience. A lot of exposition on telling us the plan. It wasn't really for Sebastian. Got to tell you the plan already. They're telling us, the audience, what the plan is. So they walk through the plan and they go through essentially a montage of things that happen and some scenes about the heist, how it's supposed to go. But then he's like, "Oh, that's how it's gonna go. You sure this gonna be easy?" And then say, "Yes, Sebastian, it's gonna be easy because it's already done." Pan down, he got a bag of money, and yes, they've completed the heist and it went well. So the man was explain. So I mean, in theory, I understand the subversion, Mark, but that is like us doing an episode of the Bar Movie Crew. We have completed this review of this movie, and then afterward, they ask you, "So, Mark, how we gonna tackle this bad movie? What movie are we gonna review?" And you start to explain how we are going to review Army of Thieves, and we can go down the road of what this movie is about. And you say, "Oh, so it can be that easy, Mark?" Yes, because it's already done. What? So he crack a safe, rob a bank, rob a credit union for children, right? But still needs to be told how the plan gonna be comically easy. Oh, I hated that part. Also, too, also too, Mark made mention to the stylist of the safe. You going inside the safe, you're seeing a lot of like him cracking the safe and it going inside the safe. You're seeing
Mhm.
the different mechanisms moving, etc., right? Like Mark in the first few moments of it was like, yeah, this is how I get done with it. It's kind of done to death, but I could get done with this. But geez, on brain. I see him more inside the safe than outside the safe, though. I started to wonder if this was a documentary for safes. I watching the people outside the safe or the people inside the safe.
Excuse me.
You understand? I couldn't figure
I
it
get
out.
you.
But you know what? Sure, the safes are are character in the movie and etc. Right?
Yeah, one could say that the safes are actually
The
more of a
best
main character than the main character.
facts. No, I liked Sebastian Matthias, the director. You know, I enjoyed him in this role. He he played his part very well. You know, a humble, bumbling, nervous, not sure of himself, afraid to take chances, kind of nerd dork that has
Yeah.
a particular set of skills and he becomes one of the gang and he fits in because he never fit in his life. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the comedy in this movie. He was the
Yeah.
comedy in this movie. Don't get tapped. Outside, if you took him out of this movie, this is a heist movie. And as Mark said, it don't even heist well. After a while, his shtick became like, all right, brother, we get it.
Like your
You're
prop two
awkward.
safes already, though.
You're
Yeah,
awkward.
your prop two safes already, though. So
Mm.
like like is like if you go back to the underground world championships of
The
safe cracking.
underground world. What ESPN, the Ocho, they're watching, then they're
No,
covering this?
I'm saying like if you watch how he goes through the rounds, when he gets to the last round, you see him go from shy and bumbling and not knowing what the hell he's doing or where he is or what he's doing, to the point where he cracks the safe in less than 10 seconds.
He had 3 minutes. I want you to know the first two rounds, right? No,
He spent 3 minutes. He had 3 minutes in the last round and spent about two
two
talking,
and a half
two
bragging.
and
I
a half
thought about
talking. Yeah, this shard in it.
this
So
up
then my thing is, if that's what you're doing in the underground world championship, home you crowbar.
your golden crowbar, mind you,
Sorry, my bad.
gold plated crowbar.
Correct. Why when it comes to the actual safes now and you've already cracked one safe in the bank the credit union for children.
The bite for children.
The bank for children. Why you still nervous doing anything else? The progression of his character didn't make sense to me.
You are so right. You are absolutely right. Because in that moment of the Underground World Championships of Safe Cracking, covered by ESPN,
The Ocho.
DS, right? You go from, I don't know what's going on here. Who are these people? Why am I here? I am humbling, bumbling, barely making fourth place to get in the semifinals, barely making it to the finals. And now you got 3 minutes to crack a safe. And you stand up there so like the Rain Man, like, I see it all now. You know you're the
You don't
one.
see the green screen. You see the code. You see
You
the
don't
code
see
in
the
the
code.
matrix.
The guy that was the confident front runner or the
Yeah.
previous champion or whatever in this championship, this underground CD championship of safe cracking. This man was confident. He got long hair. He got no swag. Women, oh God, I love you. And he like, yeah, you know, this easy. He cracking saves. I know all of a sudden now, confronted with the finals, he bumbling. And my man don't see the green screen like, you know, you remember Neo? Remember Neo in the hallway?
Yeah.
He get it like,
yeah, man, like, huh?
and that evolution took maybe 2 minutes of screen time.
Maybe. Quite
What?
possibly.
Outside of Matthias, outside of Sebastian, outside of Ludwig, whatever you want to call him, the young lady, Natalie Emmanuel, no, you know, she's a gorgeous woman. She acted it very well. Her presence was very felt. But her character was confusing to me. She is a rich woman, a child of rich people that decides she gets an adrenaline rush from stealing. So it's not about the money for her, it's the thrill. And she got a heart of gold. And she with an a-hole of a boyfriend called Brad Cage, who is an action star or wannabe action star who renames himself after watching Con Air.
of all movies, right?
Of all the Nicolas Cage movies, he watched Con Air. I mean, don't get me wrong, in terms of action movies for Nicolas Cage, probably one of his better movies. But
not as bad as.
And the explanation why he names himself, because his real name is not Brad Cage, no, obviously. His name is like Alexi something or next.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, of course.
Alexis or whatever. The reason why this man decides to name himself Brad Cage, because in his mind he wants to be an action star. So it's like Brad Pitt and Nicolas Cage had a baby. What? So anyhow, Gwendolyn, Natalie's character, she realized she got a heart of gold, and she's with an a-hole because they've been together for since they were like teenagers, and they've been through a lot, and he's really an a-hole, and it takes Sebastian to come along to really awaken her to see that I am a hot, gorgeous woman that don't need to be with the hot with a heart of gold, that don't need to be the hot, gorgeous guy that is rough and tough and buff and full of action, could take a bullet and bite a twig and deal with it. I could go with Sebastian, who is
who's loving and caring and awkward.
No, Mark. No. They're breaking into a safe. They're in the bowels of a bank. There are a lot of machinations going on here. They got security systems blinded. They got security running around this and that and the next. And Sebastian all of a sudden decides he wants to tell the story of the safe and why the story wrapped up in the lore of the safe. And he wants to play loud classical music. And he wants to warm up his instruments. And he wants to do some funny stretches. And he wants to profess his love to Gwendolyn. And this person does not do it. You do it the first heist. All right. You do it the first heist. The first heist, kiki, haha. I guess it kind of chuckle. Every heist, my man, they say that the heist ramp up in difficulty. So the first one is kindergarten, right? Because they rob a bank for children in a credit union. Got old people that run in it. They're really in a weird nothing. Yeah. And it goes up. It ramps up in difficulty. Literally, there's a point where Interpol, the bank, Uber security, and some other third party securing this bank, trying to find out, oh shoot, something going wrong. We got to find out what's going on with this safe. What's going on with we getting robbed, but we ain't sure if we getting robbed. So everybody running around with ants or headless chickies. Mm-hmm. But Ludwig, Sebastian has to take a moment to talk about the safe and the lore behind the design of the safe and how he got to play loud classical music. Now, I don't mind movies that, again, my principle for rating movies is very simple. If you create a world, if you give me a lore, if you give me a basis for your world, if you set it in reality, for example, or I don't even mind if you set it partly in reality, where, for example, a movie like Harry Potter. I just give an example. Not saying that's a good or a bad movie. Just giving an example. A movie that is partly based in reality, but also based in a supernatural, magical thing. Mm-hmm. An example like that, fine. That's what the world is. That's what the world is. But you have to base your principles within that world. You set up this world essentially to be grounded in reality, right?
Very much reality.
But yet still it is
like real reality.
Like real reality. People get shoot and thing and bleed and thing, right? Yeah. But you taking the tension out of the heist movie. You understand me? Like there was no it didn't heist well, it didn't comedy well, it didn't do what it was supposed to do well. I don't even understand why this movie was made because it doesn't give me any insight into any characters to do with Army of the Dead. It does not give me any
only one.
But it don't even give me insight. Did you honestly? You watch Army of the Dead? Did you care to know the backstory of Ludwig?
Not really.
A whole 2 hours and 9 minutes of Ludwig fumbling, bumbling, stumbling his way.
Henceforth, I say, in Army of the Dead, he was on screen just enough to make him a likable character. There's an analogy I want to make in this movie.
Go for it, Mark. Don't think. Go for it.
But we could probably get canceled for this analogy. But, I can go with it. This movie is what happens, right? In reality, when you take your sighting, you put them in main thing, space, I realize it only works as a sighting.
No, You gave me that reference before, right? Before we started recording. And I disagree. You know
Mhm.
why I disagree? Because that's the sighting don't even deserve the time. Like, why is the sighting here? She don't cook, she don't clean, she don't sex you well. What's she doing here?
But that's the thing. In the sighting, which is Armady Day, his character was very good. So everybody liked his character. Everybody's like, okay. So then when you come and now say, let's take this character that had, let's say Armady Dead was another 2 hour. No, that was like 2.5 hours, I think. Because
Mm-hmm.
I remember that movie was really long.
Mm-hmm.
He was on screen. He was on screen probably in total, I want to say 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So in that 30 minutes, if we use go back to my analogy, it sets well, cook it clean and do it just enough to make to understand why you would keep somebody as a sighting. But then when you put them into main thing role, give him his own movie,
All of a sudden,
you realize
the
they need
conversation,
enough
the other
they need enough
conversation.
qualities. Exactly, they need enough qualities to justify being a main thing.
Listen,
You can probably cancel me for that one, and they can probably get a lot of hate for it. But
listen.
again, when I understand what you
If
say,
when they cancel Arm with Thieves, I'm gonna cancel me with a spiteful, a hateful. Listen, this movie, right, was hot garbage. The reason why I hated this movie, right, because it did not know if it wanted to be self-aware. It did not want to it didn't know if it wanted to be grounded in fairy tale or if it wanted to be grounded in reality. You have a movie where there's a zombie apocalypse, right? Happening across the pond, as they say,
Pawn.
right? You have a stumbling, bumbling safecracker that is a savant of safecracking. Sure, okay. But you make him so unaware and you allow him to be so unaware that he could potentially cause you to lose your whole operation. He cracks the third safe, the hardest safe in this movie, in a moving truck. This is a safe that if you mess up, it can shut down forever. And the truck is
Have
moving, stumbling, careening, and he cracks the safe.
by talking to it, like at no point did his methods to crack safe change. Like if we're looking it back to Matrix, in the first Matrix, he beat Agent Smith, right? So he had to beat Agent Smith and whatever. The second one, they had to ramp it up, so he had to fight 100 Agent Smiths. He almost lost because so like he almost lost, so he had to like find a way to regroup. And then in the third one, he had to fight a very powerful version of Agent Smith. So like in every movie, the antagonist or the challenge got greater. The safes got more challenging, but his technique never changed. Like, yeah, I know you want to say he's a savant and he's really good at it, but at some point, like to draw a reference from another safe movie, in Italian Job, Charlize Theron character, she's accustomed to using technology, drilling, using a camera, whatever, whatever, whatever. And when it comes to the last heist, the last safe, the main safe, she then has a challenge where she has to do it old school. And that's a challenge because that's not how she does it. So she don't have to, she's out of her element. Like, and also the police is coming, so
Time is of
senses
the
are
effort.
heightened.
Yeah,
Time
yes.
is of it, right.
Yeah.
But here, like you have a safe that has 7 tumblers, 7 combinations and whatever.
72 trillion
Trillion, tricked with a T, as
with
he said.
a T.
T. All right, then. And my man is, they're going down a winding road. My girl is driving a truck. We bouncing boat. Oh Lord, the got speed up because police coming and the other half of the team that they split from Panda ass too. But my man is just there like, it's okay, baby. It's all right, boo. I got you covered. You you can
No.
give it you can give it the cheeks, you can give it the cheeks, you can give it the cheeks. Don't fight it, baby. Don't fight it.
The man even had to buy this safe dinner. That's how easy it was. Like even how they got this safe. This safe is worth $100 million. dollars. Whatever the contents of it is, $100 million. It is heavily guarded. It is heavily secure. How they got this safe? I don't even fully understand how. It is comical. It is laughable. As a matter of fact, it seemed easier than the first heist. They got the safe. The safe, the first heist with the old people and the old man and with nobody in the credit union or the bank for children. They get $100 million safe. That is supposedly one of the most expensive and valuable safes in the world. These people literally,
Easily.
I don't even know. I can't call it luck. I can't call it planet. The man just
Mister, yeah, hear what happening. They got trapped penny safe. You can go and move your thing table. The man say, oh, really? All right, cool. Interpol call we? In a day, at age of technology of 2021, the people get a call from Interpol and bought it wholly and solely like that at the supermarket. Oh, Interpol call we. So it must be credible. They do no research, they do no nothing, but they move up the timetable.
and they
The
entrust the safe to two people in a truck. Two. I mean, granted, they were under the guise of the security team or whatever, but you can tell me the original security team is two people for $100 million. Then nobody got the guns, you know. Nobody.
no, they got guns, but they got handguns. They ain't got the big guns.
$100 million safe, Mark. You got two men with haggers. And you got a theme of international thieves that are desperate to steal its contents on your trail. And you can entrust the moving of this safe to two men with handguns. Look, this really took a lot out of me, boss. To suspend my disbelief, it took a lot. And I couldn't get it done. Even the ending. Because I was saying, all right, they were making plans to go over to the United States because they want to go to Vegas to get that fourth really hard safe to crack. Las Vegas, where a zombie apocalypse is taking place. I don't know about you, Mark, but if let me see what I can liken the safety for me. Let's say a camera. Let's say the most beautiful camera in the world. The image is amazing or whatever, and I have the opportunity to get this camera, but it is in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. I will got to take up another passion because I'm not going behind no camera in a zombie apocalypse. Zombie apocalypse happening in Las Vegas. They decide they want to, they've gotten their money and they're planning to abscond to Las Vegas where a zombie apocalypse is coming. But in the end, Gwendolyn makes a deal with the arresting officer from Interpol to let Matthias, Ludwig, Sebastian get away. They tried to milk it for the emotion, but I didn't. By that point, I didn't check out. Sebastian leaves tearfully, and he realizes that she wanted this safe cracked in Las Vegas. I'm gonna go there and wait for her. All right. That's how it runs in now to Army of the Dead, where Batista's character and the other lady come in, and they get Ludwig. But I don't understand why he gone to a zombie infested area to wait on a woman that just get locked up for robbing three of the most secure vaults in Europe, though. Like, I don't get this movie, Mark. I don't get this movie. I don't get it. I don't like this shoot. I was talking about the characters. I get sidetracked. The characters, you got the characters. You got the hacker girl. You have the a-hole boyfriend,
the
Brad.
getaway driver.
The getaway driver.
Who didn't really do much getaway driving anyhow? I mean,
all he do is slide about a yellow BMW, a gold-plated BMW, and it looked cool. But other than that, he was supposed to be comic relief. And if you like Cockney accent, if you like that London slang, that English slang, you will get a chuckle here and there. Or maybe, I don't even know, maybe he's a famous comedian or something like that from England, from London, and his following would appreciate him being in this movie. I don't know.
I get you.
But I just don't understand this crew of misfits. Brad Cage, we've covered already. The hacker girl, they gave a backstory. I could care less. The getaway driver, they may give no backstory to other than he drifting a gold-plated BMW. I could care less. They even talk about Brad. Brad hold two punches, went home and watched Conair. All of a sudden, he's Brad Cage. He left him books on sticks. And then we have Gwendolyn. Like, I don't, like, I cannot imagine having watched Army of the Dead and probably enjoying Army of the Dead and seeing Ludwig and say, I wonder how a German ended in Las Vegas in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. I can't imagine looking at Army of Thieves and saying, my questions have finally been answered. What is this movie? I can't tell if it's a vanity project by Matthias. I can't tell if Zack said they're just trying to milk it. I do not get this movie. I was trying to think maybe it's like in the lore of this world, or I don't know if it was like a novella or a comic book. I don't know. But there's no source material, so I don't get why this movie. This movie is bad. Yes, I see the Rotten Tomatoes. They have it at 71% or something like that on Rotten Tomatoes. I could care less about Rotten Tomatoes than this because I found this movie was not funny. It did not heist well. It gave no, for a prequel, it gave me no discerning information to anything to do with Army of the Dead. Matter of fact, I had Army of the Dead to watch. Begrudgingly, I was going to watch it. But no, because this movie, I don't care to see it. I don't get it. I literally do not get this movie. I don't get it. I literally, that's why I tell you this movie is 2 hours too long. If this was 9 minutes, if this was a short film, you got me. Sure. Kudos to filmmaking. But you come and make this a 2 hours and then, my man, I want you to know halfway through the movie, right? After the second save, whoever, I start cleaning up my house. I start cooking. I had that in the background doing, you know. I had that in the background.
I can like at the 42:50 mark.
Halfway.
I check out.
Yeah.
Like I pause. I pause and I say, all right, let me get in. I pause and everybody get Sandy. Everybody get breakfast.
Let me find something else to do. Do you understand? This is a heist comedy movie. This is a heist comedy movie
That's not heist.
Where you decide to clean up your house and cook and get something to eat. What? Mama, what? You got anything else to say? Cause I think we should. Let me get this here. The verdict. Let me. Cause I even talk about Hans Zimmer, this movie and this music. Cause when I saw that Hans Zimmer was the composer of this musical score, I was like, Hans, what did get you into here?
As our boy Derek, it's things bad when you got pity for a millionaire.
Yeah, a boy feel bad for Hans. It's like Hans say, yo, I got a free weekend. I guess I could
score this here.
Yeah, mess around and score it. Cause the score was not good either.
Not even Dipsy do it.
Not a Dipsy do it. This was not a good score either. Anyhow, Mark. Out of 5 saves.
I was so we could go to crowbars.
Oh yes. Oh, even better. Out of golden crowbars, Mark.
He won from the
underground World Championships of safe racking covered on ESPN 11. Right? ESPN 21. Right? What would you rate out of golden crowbars?
It's half a golden crowbar. Half a golden crowbar. It's really hard. As I say, it's not a sweet girl. I don't think sweet girl would be the definition.
Hold on. I watched Sweet Girl before this. Talk to me nice. I watched this here before Sweet Girl. And you know, everybody know,
who are you or what you've done with the hoy?
I would watch Jason Momoa crying again. I would watch that credit scene again before I watch Sebastian in front of safe with security bearing down on the bowels of the thing, and he all of a sudden he got warm in his hands and he got to play loud classical music and he got to tell Gwendolyn, I love you and I want to kiss you, and why you didn't tell me that you and this man was together? I watched Sweet Girl before this. Sweet Girl is not a good movie by any stretch, but I watched Sweet Girl before this here again. If I was to waste my bandwidth or watching another movie on Netflix. If I have one movie and I see you got to choose between Sweet Girl and Army of Thieves, right? I watch Sweet Girl again. Got at least Sweet Girl to look good.
Wow.
And the Troy.
Wow.
The Troy on Sweet Girl. They look like the Troy on this movie.
I did not see that one coming.
Don't get to me though. I ain't saying Sweet Girl is a good movie. Sweet Girl is bad. Sweet Girl is bad. Bad ass. But Army of Thieves. Army of Thieves as my first entry into the Army of the Dead franchise. This has tainted. I don't even want to go back and watch the 2004 Army Dead. Furthermore, Zack Snyder lucky that he in the DCEU. Cause I would not watch nothing to do with Zack Snyder again if this is what he bringing out in place. He encouraging B characters, C characters to direct this or madness. Anyhow, you said half a golden crowbar?
Yeah, half a golden crowbar.
Well, I can give it half a crowbar too. I can give them, because you gotta give people credit for showing up. Somebody show up, somebody turned on the camera, and somebody got paid. So you know what? The visuals, weren't
but to be fair,
offensive.
If you say somebody show up, I would say, to be fair, given what they work with, the actors performed in their roles.
Yeah,
just performed in their roles. They performed in their roles. Not necessarily the background characters like Haka Girl, but Sebastian. I think Sebastian
showed up and Natalie showed up.
Exactly.
What was Brad Cage? What was the Interpol matter? Guess you he asked. What was the getaway driver?
He ain't even Tyrone.
What the can he get away from?
Get away from.
Like, I just don't understand this movie, yo. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in to the review of Army of Thieves. Do not watch this movie. Do not log on to your Netflix account. I know sometimes you're struggling to find something to watch on Netflix and you're saying, shh.
Don't even Netflix until this.
No, don't on Netflix until this. Trust me. You could put on, Squid Game. Put on
Sweet Girl.
Yeah, put on Sweet Girl. Put on Sweet Girl. At least Sweet Girl, you ain't gonna be invested in it. I think it'd be enough like background action. It could keep the noise and suppress what you're doing with the chill part of it, right? But do not Netflix and chill this, because this one of these movies, right? You'll be Netflixing and chilling, and in the middle of the chill, you'll be like,
what they were asking?
All right, then the woman will be like, you know what? I think I'm going home. I'm not in the mood anymore.
This movie kill the entire mood. That movie will kill the mood before you get to the chill.
If a woman was to ask me to come over on Netflix and chill and put this on, as a sweet girl, sweet girl, ayo. Do not watch this movie. Do not log into your Netflix account. If you pay for a Netflix account, do not have this on your bill when the month comes. No, don't do it. Don't justify your Netflix account, your payment every month. I click on this Army of Thieves. This is bad. In closing, thank you very much for watching.
As always, people.
Come on, Mark. Be professional. Be professional, Mark. Get yourself together.
Sorry. As my brother said at the beginning, like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. Drop us a like personally if you know us, if you think we're talking shit. If you like what we're saying, share with your friends. And we on that road to 50, people. We almost there. We wrong in the home stretch there. We wrong in that home stretch and we can see the finishing line. Just let me get to 50, then we can set another goal. Y'all been killing it. Liking everybody that give us likes, everybody that comments on the video on YouTube, that comment on it when we share it on Facebook. Even, like I said, ones that send us comments directly, we appreciate the love. So until the next one, guys, be safe.
And don't watch Army of Thieves.